Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching this Ag Forecast, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. Our software gives growers the insights to make the best decisions possible about their operations. Let's get started with our early Monday morning all hazards weather map. This is from weather.gov. It's pretty interesting. We have a massive low pressure system going through the middle part of the country. Been talking about it now for about 7 days, and as it's doing that, we've got a wide variety of weather conditions. These reds in here are probably the most important right now because these are all the blizzard warnings. They are surrounded by winter storm warnings and the winter storm watches on the outside of that. As all of the warm moisture comes streaming out of the Gulf of Mexico, we've seen a lot of fog in the Midwest here in the central part of the Corn Belt, really. Some of the fog is still going to be lingering out early for Monday morning as we bring in all that moisture and melt some of the snow with the warmer temperatures. We also had, for the first time in 2018, our first tornado watch, and so this is what we're watching right now in terms of severe weather, maybe even some rotating thunderstorms. So this weather system is doing it all. And I gotta be honest with you, when I teach my classes later on this week, I will be using this as my example cyclone. This is a fantastic winter storm from a meteorological perspective. We have strong upper level dynamics with a trough that's kind of lifting toward the Great Lakes, and out ahead of it a huge plume of moisture. And what I really like about this animation is it shows kind of the frontogenetical. That means we're squeezing together temperature gradients all along the leading edge and backside of this cyclone. So this is where all the really big snows are going to come from, basically full of moisture, but we're going to be basically creating a front, deforming the atmosphere right in through here to create a front, and it's going to be pretty powerful in terms of making big snow. But the other neat thing about this cyclone is that on the back side, where we typically have this dry slot right in through here, well, that dry slot air got going in through here, and not only was it dry, but it was also very windy. And what's neat about this is as it went through, it actually picked up some of the dust in the very dry pockets here in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Remember, some of this area in here has not seen measurable precipitation since October. So this is an important thing to see. Look at this huge plume of dust going racing across parts of Texas and Oklahoma. So this winter storm has really kind of done it all. Now, as we kind of just watch what we're expecting to see out of this, here's kind of a view of this very, very early in the morning on Monday morning. So large precipitation shield out ahead of it, a lot of thunderstorm activity in through here. But on the back side, look at this. We're projecting to see in through here. So basically coming into parts of Nebraska, getting into South Dakota, parts of Iowa, then Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe 8 inches to some locations getting well over a foot of snow as this system kind of goes crawling through. So this is going to be impressive. And the thing is that the winds in that area, the winds right in through here are fierce, well over 35 miles an hour, which is the criteria you need for a blizzard. So if you're watching this early in the morning on Monday, these are the big kind of weather stories that we're dealing with. Now, those same winds are drawing up a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. You can even see the front that's there, right there along the lower Mississippi River Valley. And as we kind of lift that air, even though it's marginally unstable, not too unstable, but at least has some instability, well, the force in the atmosphere is such that we are just cranking out some storms right along that front. And here you can see the lightning strikes. Usually I get excited about showing this in March, April, and May, but we've got a big system that's bringing lightning all the way into Iowa. So this is from Houston to Iowa. Pretty amazing to see the strikes as they were going up early in the morning on Monday. Okay, now if we just take a look at what we're expecting in terms of severe weather, let's get to these next maps here. Through Monday morning, 6 a.m., the largest risk for severe weather, again, is going to be down here in Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, and Louisiana. So what we're looking out for here is we just have a great wind shear profile. When you combine that with the lifting that's happening along that front, we have the potential of making some strong storms. By the time we get in from Monday 6 a.m. through Tuesday 6 a.m., we see that a lot of that severe weather threat translates east, although it kind of calms down as we lose some of the really good dynamics we need for this. But let's just watch the animation again. So we can see that by 7 a.m. on Monday, the larger kind of elongated frontal squall line is going to be going basically from Chicago all the way down through the lower Mississippi River Valley. Again, big snows on the backside here. You can see the system kind of pulls off to the north. Now, something interesting about this, for these locations right in through here, after the cold air kind of sneaks in behind, don't be surprised if we get some snow showers out of this on the backside of this low. But as this continues to kind of move on off to the east and southeast, we do bring scattered showers and thunderstorms down here Monday night into Tuesday morning. So that's kind of our severe weather look at this system. Now, what I want to do is kind of get an update on the longer term pattern because some of the longer range models over the last couple of days have kind of given us a better hint about what the start of February is going to look like. Our discussion has been about how the rest of the month really we get through it, we think, without having too much in terms of massive cold air outbreaks. But let's just watch this again. So by the time we get into Monday, here is the trough that's creating that big low pressure system that's kind of causing all the problems in the middle of the country right now. And of course, some cool air behind this. But watch this as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, we start to see a ridge develop in the middle part of the country. So there's a rebound in our temperatures. Yet another broader trough kind of comes in off the west coast. So this is going to bring precip to the west coast, of course, but it's also going to give another chance for another winter storm going across the middle part of the country. So these are coming in about once a week. That seems to be our timing in the near term. Now, what's interesting about this is I get into Saturday the 27th, so we're out about a week now. Getting into Monday the 29th, really what I'm concerned about is as I start to edge my way toward February, some of the longer range models are suggesting that we're going to be displacing quite a bit of warm air back up the west coast into Alaska again. Now, we've seen this pattern already this year, and if the longer range guidance here from the GFS is right, we could get ourselves back into that kind of cooler pattern over the Hudson Bay. Now, we've already kind of made the turn with winter. In other words, we've kind of gone past the climatological coolest part of winter, and we're increasing daylight hours, and so as we move into February, while we still can't have big colder outbreaks, just know we're moving towards spring. But just going to have to watch this pattern. I want you all to know that while I'm not seeing any major colder outbreaks through the end of the month, maybe a bit of a pattern shift by the time we get into this first start of February could be in the works. So I'll keep a close eye on that for you. Now, let's shift our attention towards South America because this is where we could possibly get a story in the grain markets. Brazil working toward harvest, they need some drier weather in here to get them to harvest better. But I want you to watch this animation here of the last 7 days of precip. We're going to keep our eyes right down here. This is Argentina's major corn and soy growing area. And I want you to watch as I animate this, some of the precip that's come through in the last 7 days. Now, as you watch this, what I want you to see is that while the satellites were picking up on a few systems, this was not rain for everybody, really not a lot for Buenos Aires and Cordoba. So this wasn't the big soaking rains that you'd like to see if we're wanting to really improve crop conditions down there. So that's why we're still getting concerned at this area, because that was a week worth of kind of precipitation. We really didn't see everybody getting rain. It's kind of a crucial time for it. And the short-term forecast getting out the next 10 days is picking up on a dry bias for Buenos Aires province and also Cordoba. So the combined here, we're starting to see maybe increased pressure on the Argentinian crop as we move forward with the rest of the 2018 growing season for South America. So a lot to be watching there, and I know a lot of the big commodity traders are going to be keeping a very close eye on that precipitation pattern there because the longer range forecasts are still calling for some stress in terms of precip in Argentina. You know what? And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this forecast video. We hope you look forward to Agrible's next ag forecast coming out on Thursday morning. To get morning farm report for your operations, complete with a daily email that shows you a snapshot of your field conditions each morning, go to morningfarmreport.com. Sign up for our free account. Full grower accounts are free if you sign up for our sustainable yield program or for growers work with 80 merchandisers. Be careful if you're in that area that's getting the blizzard or the severe weather, and hopefully we'll have a great report coming out again on Thursday. Thank you.